Hello and thank you for clicking on this Destiny 2 video. In this video I'm going to show you my Fire and Ice Wizard Warlock build. This build is so much fun and it carries its own in all endgame content. This build also thrives when playing with other players such as fireteam activities. This build is going to give us constant solar explosions, constant frozen shatters, we're going to have radiance, we're going to have frost armor, we're going to have ability uptime, and we're going to have supers a lot of the time, and also constant prismatic full up bars. It is absolutely insane. Now, for the gameplay loop is very simple. We're essentially going to set up zones around the fights where we just deal insane damage and basically hunker down an area of the map. So for example, if we've got these 7 Colossus, we're going to throw down our frozen grenade, create a frozen sort of area. In the middle, we're going to place our class ability to give us our Helion, and then we're just going to go to town. Now if we are being shot at, we can use these crystals to sort of hide behind to block a few bullets, and if the targets get close, we can shoot these crystals to shatter them and deal damage to anything up close. This build is so simple and so fun because you and your boys can just literally sit in this little zone, killing stuff, getting your abilities back, and then you can move on, go further forward, drop your grenade, drop your class ability, and so on and so on. Our abilities didn't recharge in time then, but that's because we only had 7 Colossus targets to kill. In a real game experience, you're going to have more than 7 things to kill, meaning our abilities will be fine for going across to different sections to hunker down again. Now for the exotic armor piece, we are using the Rhymico Raymond. If you bear with me 2 secs. Sorry, thank you. This reads Bleak Domain. Your Bleak Watcher turrets are enhanced with extended range and you are surrounded by stasis crystals, essentially what you just saw in the gameplay loop I just showed you. However, while standing in this storm, we are granted icicles over time. Icicles activate when you fire your weapons, applying slow to targets when hit. So essentially, when we're in this little storm, we're going to get ice bullets, or stasis bullets. As you can see on the left, we have Bleak Domain. When I shoot, this little icicle above me is also going to shoot. Pairing this with a solar weapon means not only are we going to scorch targets with this solar miner mini tool, we're also freezing them, meaning we're getting constant stasis bursts and also constant solar ignition explosions. Now for the class itself, we are using the prismatic subclass. We are using Winter's Wrath, again, because we're going to be making our shatters bigger, so we might as well use this Winter's Wrath super. You could also use the Song of Flame, however there are better benefits to using Winter's Wrath with some of the other stuff in this build. In terms of abilities, I like to use Heal and Rift, it helps with the hunkering down. Your movement is up to you. Melee, I like to use Arcane Needle, purely because we've got mods which make it so when we hit an enemy with a powered melee attack, we're going to get some energy back. And you get 3 of these, which means we get triple the energy. You could use a different grenade, it's entirely up to you. This is just my personal preference. And then for the grenade, I recommend Healing Grenade. Not only can we throw out our feet in a sticky situation, but it's also got the lowest grenade cooldown, which means we can proc our stasis bunker or area down more quickly because it's on a lower cooldown. Now for our aspects, we are using Bleak Watcher. This is what's going to proc our exotic armor piece and give us that stasis turret as well. This is just a no-brainer. Now for the other aspect, I like to use Helion. Since we're going to throw down our stasis sort of hunker down area and then pop our Healing Rift, this is going to give us that Helion on our shoulder as well, meaning we can cause them ignitions quicker and get more damage on the field. However, if you wanted to, there is also an argument to be made for Feed the Void. It's entirely up to you. I prefer to go with Helion as we get more explosions and more DPS out there. Now in terms of our fragments, we have Facet of Ruin. This is going to make our frozen explosions and our solar explosions even bigger. Now for Facet of Balance, we have this, rapidly defeating targets with light damage, which is our weapon and other sources, will give us melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage, such as our frozen targets, our stasis targets, and our strand weapons, is going to give us grenade energy, meaning we can make these hunker down areas even quicker. Next up we have Facet of Hope. While we have an elemental buff, our class ability is going to regenerate quicker, meaning we can throw down our hunker down area, throw down our healing rift, and get our helion back even quicker. This just helps line the two cooldowns up with each other. And finally we have Facet of Purpose. This is going to give us frost armor whenever we pick up an orb of power, helping us with survivability. Hence why I said use the Winter's Wrath super. Now for the weapons, I like to use the new Malapis pulse rifle. I just find it very useful. It also deals a lot of damage, and it also is a strand weapon, meaning it's a darkness damage, giving us grenade energy. Now for the secondary, I like to use the Mida Mini Tool. Here I would recommend you use a solar weapon, because this is a fire and ice build. The Mida Mini Tool is going to help us get our ignitions on targets, and it's going to be our main weapon for this build. And the reason I like to use the Mida Mini Tool as well is because it's currently farmable, which means you can go ahead and farm yourself a good version for yourself. And finally for the heavy, I like to use a Darkness Heavy to help me get my grenade back again. So I'll pop my ice hunker down area, pop my healing rift, try and get a kill or two with some of these darkness weapons, and then I'll continue using my Mida Mini Tool just to help me get back that grenade energy again. Now in terms of the artifact, I'm going to go over the important ones. First row, entirely up to you. Second row, entirely up to you. Third row, Fever and Chill is good, as using our solar weapons is going to give us Radiance, and Elemental Benevolence is going to help us get our class ability back quicker. And now for the fourth row, Cauterized Darkness is a must. We're going to be literally freezing everything on the battlefield, meaning our solar damage is going to be even better to all those targets. And then another one is Elemental Coalescence. Defeating targets has a chance to create an elemental pickup, matching our super, which will be a stasis shard. And for the final row, Radiant Shrapnel. This is going to help scorch targets, get ignitions, and deal chip damage all over the battlefield. And then Shield Crush. While we have Frost Armor, our melee is going to come back quicker. While we have Radiance, our grenade is going to come back quicker, which we should have most of the time. Now for our stats, I highly recommend going for grenade and weapons to be your highest stats, and then put some stats into super and class. Grenade is going to buff our Helion and our Bleak Watcher turret. The weapons, well, we're not really using abilities as much, so weapons is going to be our other damage source, so get this high up as much as you can. Super, I like to get near to 70 so that we can get our super back as quick as we can. And same again for class, just to help us get that healing rift down and get that Helion turret back out. And finally for the mods, we have one Solar Stasis mod, one Solar Strand mod, and one Stasis mod. This is going to help us get orbs of power and trigger other things in the build. Now for the arms, we have Bolstering Detonation, grants class ability energy when we cause damage with a grenade. This also counts as our Bleak Watcher turret. That turret damage and stuff is going to give us our class ability back. And then we have Causing Damage with a powered melee attack, reduces our grenade cooldown. Hence why we are using the Strand one, because we get 3 charges of this, giving us triple the energy back. For the chest piece, these are all damage resistances, entirely up to you. For the legs, I like to use Recuperation for survivability. I like to use Innovation because any kills from our Bleak Watcher turret is going to give us an orb of power. And then finally, I like to use Solar Weapon Surge. Our main weapon is the Mida Mini Tool. This is going to help that do a bit more damage. And then finally, for the class item, sorry about that, we are using the Bomber, reduced grenade cooldown when we use our class ability, twice, just to help us get that grenade back even quicker. And then we also have Utility Quick Start to help us get our class ability back even quicker again as soon as we use it. This build is so much fun and I love making these Fire and Ice builds. I made one for the Hunter and I fell in love with it, and I wanted to make one for the Warlock as well, and this is the perfect Fire and Ice build. I hope you enjoyed the video. The support lately has been insane, and thank you very much for watching.